Hey, it's Mike. Thanks for tuning back in. It has been 3 years since I've been doing YouTube. 3 years today, July 11th, 2021, I posted what would become my first video. And I wanted to go back and relive some of the highlights of the last 3 years. It has been awesome, a great extension of my hobby. It makes me enjoy the hobby even more than I had before. And I have you guys to thank for that. So I want to say thank you to all of you who have watched, who have subscribed, who have commented, who have given awesome feedback. A big, heartfelt thank you from me. So let's look back at my very first video. It's funny to me looking back at this. Hey, thanks for watching. This morning I went to my first card show since probably 93, 94, 27, 28 years. This one was in Augusta, Maine. It was awesome. It was a small one, but the tables were loaded with great stuff. So it's awkward, right? It's first of all, the intro to my videos early on for like my first year or so were longer. The music, it's the Jukebox Hero song by Foreigner. I took a clip of that. And the, I don't know, animation, I guess, is longer. I did that myself, which you can probably tell. I was skinnier back then. I was about 25 pounds lighter at the time, maybe 30, probably not that much. My shelves behind me were not full of cards yet. I had just put those up that Father's Day. So this was July 11th. My dad built those for me for Father's Day. So it was the month before. So I had just put those up in like late June and was starting to fill them up with the cards. And you can see as I go through my progression, the cards change from occasionally. I move things in and out. One thing that has changed, of course, is that I didn't have sponsors back then, and now I have a sponsor, the Penny Sleever, an amazing company that I strongly recommend for all of your supplies needs. Thepennysleever.com. You can use my code JWH for 10% off. They're amazing supplies. For most of your supplies needs, you can get them at thepennysleever.com. Again, code JWH for 10% off. So, I look back on that video and I think, man, I had no idea what I was doing. I had done some practice videos that I ended up deleting. They were mostly just opening packs, junk box packs. And it wasn't something that I really enjoyed a whole lot. Just opening packs. I wasn't showing my face at all. And then I decided, I went to this card show and I had a story. And I've always been a storyteller. I love to tell stories. And I wanted to tell the story of how I got it. Now I've gotten even better, hopefully, I think, at telling stories since then. I use more visuals. I tell the story a little bit better, thanks to a lot of just trial and error. But that one was the bedrock. And I had gone to that card show and I got a 56 second year Cindy Koufax autograph for 20 bucks. And it was just so easy. It was my first card show in 30 years and I've got this cornerstone of my collection. Man, collecting is so easy. Why doesn't everybody do it? Now, of course, nothing like that usually happens, and I knew, of course. But just an awesome memory, and great, and it's still, I've got the card still. I think I'll probably always have it, not because of the value, but because of the story. And I love the story. Same thing with my Bob Cousy 57 Topps autograph that I got through the mail. Just items that I'll need to hang on to forever so I can tell the stories forever. Back in those early days, I did a lot more videos pointed at my desk where, you can see my face in the corner, but I was showing cards that I had purchased. I was doing a lot more of that. I was buying a lot of like $1, $2 cards back then, which I don't do much of now. And now it's more talking about hobby stories and things happening in the hobby. So a very different channel. In fact, you can see at one point where I started doing what became my Clearing the Bases episode. I had done a monthly news recap a couple of weeks before doing this one. And then it was popular and people were like, I like this a lot. And so I started doing a weekly one. Some news. I really enjoyed the news video I did a couple of weeks ago. It was really popular with you guys and a lot of people suggested that I keep doing it. So I've been storing news articles that hit my feed and the algorithm knows I like baseball cards, so it feeds me more and more news articles. So I'm going to start with what I found was a very poorly written article about baseball card theft. The headline says something like "Rare Michael Jordan." You can see that there, and obviously at the time I was doing showing pictures of the stories on, so I was editing it a lot. It was a lot of work, and people were asking for more, and I was finding it difficult to maintain like that. And I was seeing somebody, maybe it was Neo Cards and Comics, would share his screen, and I was like, I should do it that way. And man, it is so much easier to do and edit. Actually, there's almost never is there any editing on that series, which is very convenient. So that's why I've been able to maintain that series for the last 2 years, I think. I think I started that in July of 22. And initially it wasn't even popular. It didn't really do very well, but I loved it. And I got amazing feedback on it. And it was easy. And that's a big factor. Is this easy to do, and do I love it? And if the answers to both of those are yes, then I'm going to keep doing it, whether it gets views or not. And I started it then, and it's picked up, and it's now overtaken Attic Find Friday as my most popular series. So yeah, it's awesome. I love it. And you can see the humble beginnings of that series there. Back in. It's Sunday. I want to try a new show this week, or a new series. I'm calling it Clearing the Bases, where I am clearing out my browser tabs of news items that were interesting but didn't quite fit the mold of a like 8 to 12 minute video, which is kind of my bread and butter now. My 9th video was actually going through Oliver's childhood card collection, and I didn't ever show Oliver in the video. We talked through the cards. In fact, I was only showing the cards, which is very different from how I would do it now. I would want to tell the stories and ask him questions, and it was kind of bland. Yeah, sorry, Oliver. I wish I had done better. If I had known better, if I had more experience, I would do better. It's funny, I also did, in like my 10th or 11th video, very early on, Fanatics had just purchased, or had acquired the rights to the licenses for baseball, right, I think, or baseball, and I don't remember. And so I did a video predicting what they might do, and it's weird looking back on that because it was so early. I had never done anything like it. It was my first foray into that. And I do more of that now, and I like it, and I'm much better at it, I think. Not necessarily better at predicting, but just better at presenting myself more confidently than I was back then. Of course, you've heard that Fanatics signed an exclusive deal with Major League Baseball and Major League Baseball's Players Association, and they are on the verge of signing exclusive deals with the NBA and the NBA Players Association, NFL and the NFL Players Association. And then my next video was things I would like Fanatics to do to improve the hobby, and some things never change, and that was no more sticker autos. Getting back to Tatum and an autograph, how about we only have on-card autographs? The on-sticker autographs are ugly, they're hideous. I like autographs, but the on-card autos would be great if they just would ban the sticker autos. Back in those early days, card show videos were by far my most popular videos. Back in those early days, card show videos were by far my most popular videos. I would get anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 views per video, and normally I was getting like 100 maybe views, or in the low hundreds. And so those card show videos, like, man, people love card show videos back then, because a lot of places still didn't have card shows because of COVID, and they hadn't quite come back everywhere. So that's why Breakout Cards got so massive so quickly, because Ryan was well-spoken, he was editing amazing videos and buying great cards, showing awesome footage, and there was a ton of demand for that at that time. One of my most fun early ones, I was watching Seinfeld all the way through for the first time in 15 years probably, and I noticed that Seinfeld had a 1990 Donruss box on the top of his fridge in season 2 maybe,
early on in season 2 or late in season 1. And so I was like, oh wow, this is weird. And so I Googled it, nothing, no mention of it anywhere. I went to Twitter, no mention of it anywhere. And I was like, does anybody even know in the hobby that he had this? Has it ever been mentioned, I should say? And so I just put out a video and I tweeted about it. And while the video didn't get a lot of views, the tweet got a lot of traction. Ryan Fagan, who's a big sports card junk wax guy, he's also a journalist, sports writer, tweeted about it. So that was one of those things that was really exciting for me, where people were talking about something that I had brought up. And that was fun for me. I did my first TTM, which you can see my excitement in this video.
All right, hey, it's Mike. Thanks for tuning back in. I've got a really exciting video today. I started doing TTM, and this is my first return. If you're not familiar with TTM, it's autographs through the mail, where you mail a card or a photo of somebody to that athlete or celebrity or whatever, and then you hope that they'll mail it back to you.
Love that. Did a lot more TTM over the next, I don't know, 18 months or so. Always sharing my results. I loved that. And I think I gained a lot of followers from that. And I still have people sending me their TTM results, thanking me for putting out all these TTM videos, as well as sharing how I did TTM. That video still gets tons of views from people who are trying to learn how to do TTM. My first LCS visit, which right now I'm in the middle of a massive LCS blitz, but my first LCS visit was, of course, where else? To Don's Sports Card Center in Portland, Maine. The best in Maine, I think. And I'll visit a bunch more in the next couple of weeks and hopefully confirm that.
All right. Thanks, Mike, again. Thanks for watching. Today I went to the closest local card shop to me, which is about 30 miles away in Portland, Maine. It's called Don's Baseball Card Shop or Don's Sports Card Shop. I've been there once or twice before.
My first video that went big was actually kind of misleading, and I didn't intend it to be, but I had picked up like 4 or 5 1950 Bowman cards, and in the thumbnail I put a box of 1950 Bowman, and I didn't think, hey, this is going to be misleading. I should have, and I've been much more careful about that since then. Even though nobody complained about it, I still felt like, wow, this got a lot of views because it was misleading. I woke up the next morning, I had 5,500 views, and my best before that was like 1,500. And so this tripled maybe my highest video up until that point, and it got me hundreds of new subscribers. And so that was a big moment for me where I realized the thumbnail is critical, but I also need to be more careful about what I put in that thumbnail. And again, I don't remember a single comment where people were like, wow, this is really misleading. But I still felt the next day I was like, I didn't feel great about that. And I give a lot of thought to thumbnails. And you can sometimes see I change the thumbnail when the video doesn't perform up to what I hope or expect it to, like my PB Collectibles video, which I thought would do much better. I changed that after 6 or 7 hours, that thumbnail. Yeah, just trying new things. I'm constantly trying new things. And you can see that I scrolled through all my old videos and I was like, wow, look at all these things I tried. Like the Baseball Cards 100 was something I tried for 3 or 4 videos, taking Joe Posnanski's Baseball 100 and then choosing the best cards among those Baseball 100 players. I also tried a trade up series that didn't work out. I tried a lot of different things that just never worked. And that's how you fail fast, I guess. You can see early on I had some lighting issues. Again, some things never change. Wednesday, I'm a week away from the National. I'm actually going next Thursday. My overhead light broke about a month ago, and so I've had lighting issues again since then. Haven't had a chance to fix it. It's a little bit more electrician-y than I have the skills for. The funniest moment, though, and I also added a microphone early on because I got some feedback about my audio. The funniest moment, I went back and I found it. It was when I cracked my first slab. It was a pack slab from PSA, and those are much thicker, and I had no idea how to do it. I had researched how to crack a slab, and they were all card slabs, which are not like the pack slabs. And so I tried doing it. I'm just going to show it to you here. That's funny. I laughed. I watched it again and I laughed. Just, you know, probably the 6th or 7th time I've watched that. Another thing I tried was the history of Bowman, and I wanted to do more of these. And it was really fun. I liked it a lot. It was a ton of work. It probably took me 5 hours by itself. And my goal is to spend 5 hours a week on my channel. And for one video to take 5 hours is too much. I wrote out a script, a literal script. And then I had to find a bunch of pictures that would go along with each of the things. And then I had to do a lot of editing, which took a long time on that video. So ultimately I didn't continue. I wanted to do like the history of PSA, the history of Topps, things like that. Never been able to do them, unfortunately. Maybe someday. I just don't see it happening. In 1927, chewing gum salesman Jacob Warren Bowman founded Gum Inc. in Philadelphia. In just 2 years, their Bologna gum became the #1 selling gum in America, and within a decade, Gum Inc. had 60% of the American gum market. In 1930, Franklin V. Canning, a New York druggist who invented Dentyne gum and supplied the pink bubblegum base material, joined Gum Inc. as a partner, receiving 250 shares, or half of the company stock. My first Attic Find Friday I found, it was the Gowdy employee's grandchildren finding his old cards. I think it was in their attic, if I remember correctly. That spans about, I don't know, 9 months or so in the card hobby, where last year a former Gowdy gum employee's grandchildren found a collection of Gowdy cards when they were emptying out his house, I guess. I'm not really clear on how they found them, but they were in his house. There were 20 or more high-grade 1933 Gowdy Babe Ruth cards. They were auctioned off in... fun looking back on that. Obviously, I hadn't yet branded Attic Find Friday. That was before the National of 2022. So that was over 2 years ago. And I had gotten really into the series late in 2022. So that was in July of 22. It was probably November-ish that I was starting to do them every Friday. And that's it. When did you start? When did you subscribe? Let me know in comments what was your favorite video that you remember. What video got you in, and yeah, I'd love to know just what are your thoughts after 3 years. Thanks so much for watching.